You're not social. Check this video out. Why?
I'm not a...
Yes, it is annoying.
This is a commentary and reaction video on a consultation I did with Cody Wanner and why I would never consider to do it again. Except for that, I would like to share parts of the consultation because I believe that there's a lot of value to be found and I would like to comment on them. It's not the full consulting session, but I stitched it a little bit together so that only the essential is left, except for the fact and the moment when I realized that I would never even think about doing such a consultation again. There were various topics we touched that might be interesting for you. For instance, the importance of niches and themes of a YouTube channel or in a vlog, how to find an audience and true fans, a hack how to increase your watch time to over 50%, how to keyword correctly, the difference between being fake and authentic when it comes to clickbait, about self-doubt and the burden of comparison as a creator. Before this talk with Cody, I was in a phase where I was really doubting myself a lot and what I was doing. I wasn't even sure if I want to keep on going with YouTube, and I had a lot of questions in my mind no one could really answer, so that was the main motivation, the main reason this consultation happened. And without further ado, let's get into it. Didn't hit space.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for setting it up and sending over your goals. They're great goals for the session. I think I'm excited to talk about them.
Excuse me. It just hurts so much to watch this back. A lot of people don't even believe it when I tell this. I feel socially awkward a lot of time. That was being me just fangirling out a little bit, talking to Cody and then being like, what am I supposed to... If you're having problems with social stuff, you understand. I'm sorry, we were on. I've changed topics so many times and realigned the content so many times that I just found myself at a point where I feel a bit lost, and I also think I've already confused the audience to the point that no one knows what my channel is about and what I'm actually doing here. Like, for instance, commentary and reaction videos that do not really align with the travel content I normally do.
Web pirate, addicted to freedom, explore and create. So like the reason I'm like backing up here is that for the most part, channels like yours on YouTube don't necessarily need to have like one topical theme. You know what I mean? Like this just looks like, to me, this just looks like a travel vlog.
Damn it, I'm not a travel... That was like I was normally reacting because I never wanted to be a travel vlog, and with this consultation, with this talk at the time, it made me realize sometimes you need another person to call what you do. The thing I was mainly struggling with is that I love to travel and I want to show that and I want to show all those beautiful destinations, but that's not it. It's just that I like to touch on a little bit more deeper topics and on the experiences I make, and I always felt kind of doing it all wrong because I'm not giving much of information in those travel vlogs but only sharing my thoughts. So I was feeling like I was actually not manipulating but doing things wrong.
I think there's two things to say about that. The first is I really feel like that's what literally everybody is trying to do. Like a travel vlogger, just like a hometown. I don't know what you would consider me, but I'm kind of like a hometown vlogger. You know what I mean? Like I don't really even travel. I try to get into adventures just like around where I live. And then there's like commentary channels, there's tech review channels, there's all these different niches. We're using that niche to like draw people in and introduce ourselves to new people. But then at the same time, we're trying to talk about what's actually important to us. We're trying to win them over with our personalities. And so I just wanted to give like a little bit of encouragement, like we all feel that thing.
That was very important to hear from me because I simply don't know. I don't know other creators. I'm not really into contact with much of them, even though I try to get more into contact with them via social media, but never in real life. And I simply don't know. I needed to hear that. The next thing Cody is talking about is what I touched on earlier a little. I felt like I was luring in people for the wrong reason. And then I always felt bad when I got like 10 new subscribers and 8 of them would leave.
Like that will bring a bunch of people, but those people are first and foremost going to be expecting travel stuff. and only a small percentage of them are going to actually like convert over to being true fans of you as opposed to just that sort of content.
Again, this was a thing that someone needed to tell me. It's a little bit like the conversion ratios you have in online marketing and everything. I mean, you can expect crazy numbers, but you actually have to know and think about, or someone tell you what the real expectation might look like. The next topic we are touching is keywording.
This is beautiful, but also probably needs to change. Freedom, happiness, travel, love, traveling, backpacking, Asia, explore, dream. Those things are all beautiful and wonderful things that like we want to talk about. The algorithm of YouTube is still a very simple mind. It only knows how to recommend stuff that's about events, places, or items, or people.
Cody also made an example with a Casey Neistat video you or he would make, for instance. This Casey Neistat video gets recommended to Casey Neistat fans, and if they start clicking it, if they actually start watching it, YouTube recognizes it as a good video and will recommend it to even more fans, and so on.
What it doesn't do is it doesn't look at like freedom and be like, all right, I think that these people all like freedom. I should serve this video to them, because it's like too broad. It's too complex and broad of a subject. You know what I'm saying? The events, items, and places or people, use those 4 things to get in front of new audience. A lot of that isn't going to work, but it is going to bring some actual fans, some actual true fans that are people who are going to stick around for just you.
You can do the same with travel stuff. You take a topic that is currently trending or people are actually searching for, and then you give it your personality or your personal thoughts, all that. To put it short with the keywords, be more specific. Type in keywords or actual sentences, things people search and look for, because that's the only way to be found. This is what I understood from it all.
What did you say? You're not a very social guy?
True. But I actually said I'm not structured, and I said my girlfriend is the planner and all those travel things, and Cody's reaction was very interesting to me.
In what you just said, like there's like a whole entire channel in there actually. The idea that like you're not a structured planner, but your girlfriend is, that's like describes so many people. Because of that sort of dynamic, there's some really fun kind of topics you could do in there. When I thought you said you're not social, probably if you're doing anything wrong, the thing that it would be is you're probably not getting 50% watch time on the majority of your videos. Have you looked at your analytics?
Yeah.
Are you getting 50% watch time on the majority?
No. To put this into context, I asked Cody if there was something obvious I was doing wrong. Maybe you know that feeling that you're making all these videos and all this content and you think it's amazing and people should watch it, but no one does. It's not getting any views, you're not getting any new subscribers, and you're just asking yourself, is there something that I'm obviously screwing up? 50% watch time might be one of those things, and Cody explains a concept which I only knew as the hook in a video, but it's more than that. The hook is pretty much just the beginning of the whole concept, which Cody calls open loop.
The trick to increasing watch time to above 50% is to create some sort of open loop in the first like 15 to 30 seconds that you don't close until after 50%. You know, you got to figure out how to be authentic in it and not make people feel like you're like manipulating them. But in every single video, you got to think about, how do I set this up in a way that creates a large enough open loop in people's minds that they're going to watch past 50%.
Can I ask you one thing on titles?
Yeah.
Especially clickbaity titles, because I'm also sharing that opinion that if it's good clickbait and it has something to do with the actual content, and like Casey does that a lot, or also Dan Mace, they draw you in to then present the actual topic.
Yep.
But I kind of found out for myself that clickbaity titles only work when you have somehow of a broader reach.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's this one video, I'm stuck in a muddy river.
that probably would have worked better if there was more of an audience.
If Casey would have posted it. Yeah. So that's something that we always need to keep in mind whenever we start trying to do things like Casey or like Dan or like anybody who has, even if someone has 100,000, or honestly, even me with 45, 46,000, you can't always just exactly replicate what people who have larger audiences than you do. Like that's where like searchable clickbait titles come in, but it's not just for my audience. Like I made it searchable with Road Video Micro, and I show the Road Video Micro in the shot. It's not clickbait. It's just a good title, and you told a good story. And like in my mind, I always think of it as like there's going to be people who enter this video mad and like wanting to prove me wrong and like wanting me to be wrong and wanting to not like me. But I need to then take the whole video to win them over into, okay, like, so they at least leave the video with a little bit of a smile on their face, like, I see what he did there. The difference between clickbait and a really good title is if you can actually deliver on what the clickbaity thing is.
So what Cody simply saying is,
there's the difference between being fake and telling a good story. There's a whole movie about this called Real Big Fish, which I think should be required viewing for everybody who's making content.
So what if you already screwed up?
If that isn't getting any views at all anymore, if it has zero traction, I would go and change the thumbnail, change the title, change the tags, and change the description, and hope that YouTube re-indexes it and hope it finds a new life.
For the context, I would like to say that Cody did say that people disagree on that a lot, whether you should change a title or not. I did it, and at the time, I mean, it's only from 2 months ago, I cannot really say if it helped or not, because especially when it's about travel content, I feel that it's not so much about trends or about constant searchable topics, but it's more periodically. So it might very well be that videos who are not getting views now might get them next year or the year after or just in a few months or so. Next one, reaching out to creators. My issue with all that was that very, very often I felt uncomfortable reaching out to other people, not only bigger creators, but people in general. And especially when it comes to people I respect, you've probably figured that, socially a little bit anxious.
It is a fine line, dude. It's a very fine line. So it's like, I was just thinking about this morning. A lot of times people will tag me, Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon, like Becky and Chris, Jesse Driftwood, and they're like asking all of us a question. Cody, would love it if you'd check this video out. Because for me, I'm just like, why? You know, like, why do you want me to watch that? I understand it is awesome when you find out that someone that you respect has been watching your videos or has watched your vids. I understand that. But at the same time, it's like, who am I? Like, it just doesn't matter. Nobody needs me to watch their video. They need their future audience to watch their video, right? So I just sort of get confused about some of that sort of stuff. But other than that, like if someone respectfully messages me, DMs me, and they're like, hey, I have an idea for working together. Here's the idea, XYZ. Understand you get a lot of these requests. You know, no hard feelings either way. I don't need to hear back from you, but I just wanted to throw it out there because I respect your work and would like to work with you. I think, yes, it is annoying. It is often annoying when people repeatedly ask me or anybody else about stuff. That's annoying. Do I care? Do I think you should care whether that's annoying or not? Most cases, no. It's like squeaky wheel gets the grease. That you have to realize is like, you just got to continue to get better and better and better so that when I or whoever does actually end up watching the thing, you can win it. You can still win us over even though we're annoyed. You know what I mean? It's not the person who's sitting in this room with 3 million or 10 million subscribers that's going to change your life. It's the person that's sitting right next to you.
I would like to take this chance and ask you if you would like to collaborate with me in whatever way. Just send me a video idea. If you need anything from me, I'm pretty much down for everything. Or if you're just down to talk, whatever. I would love to help wherever I can help. I really mean that, and feel free to reach out to me. I'm always hitting play because I don't know what is coming next, and then I realize I wanted to say something before the next scene is coming. The next and the last part is all about self-doubt, and Cody talks about what his biggest issue was when he started out with YouTube.
I was comfortable with doing everything wrong, and I was still going to do it as hard as I could do it, and just keep doing it, even though it might be a mistake. That it just was really freeing for me. I was like, even if I'm making a major mistake, I'm still making it like really hard, and I'm learning so much. So in that way, even if all of my doubts are realized, I'm still coming out a way better person, and it wasn't a waste. Like, the biggest thing for me has always been, I just don't want to be wasting my time. But I realized that in trying to not waste my time, that was the only waste of time. Like, the better use of time is to potentially be wasting your time, but like learning and growing through the whole mistake making process, so that you can actually get to a point where you know how to not waste your time.
This is a thing I like to encourage people to, and I almost preach about, even though it's not a good thing to preach. Never preach. But I just think that it's so normal to lose and fail, and you should keep on doing and doing and doing it again. And yet I always have these discussions and these arguments that people say, yeah, I know, and I should just try, and I should just start, and all these excuses are coming. I don't want to think about that too much. Even though I was struggling at that time and full of self-doubt, it was not about the failing part, because I'm always cool with putting things out that are not perfect or sometimes even bad. Like, there was one video I did with horrible reverb. Probably even this video has reverb. There's just reverb everywhere. Hello? Woo-woo! Yeah.
What's kind of bugging me is that I enjoy editing and making videos and creating all of this so much, but I cannot say that I enjoy uploading it, because every time I upload it, I'm starting to compare myself. That's always happening, and I have such a hard time separating myself from that.
I think that there's something amazing to be said about like creating just for the sake of creating and not uploading it. I think that that's awesome. I think the issue is that the value that we were talking about. For me, it started to feel like the reason I started daily vlogging is because I'm like, I have the skill required to do this. It seems exciting to me. It almost feels like it would be wrong not to start sharing this stuff with the world. It is 100% legit to just make these videos and keep them on your own hard drive, or put them up in Google. Don't keep them on a hard drive, actually, because you're traveling and it might get lost. Put them up in Google Photos, keep them private. You know what I mean? Like, store them in the cloud somewhere. But where I would challenge you is just like, if you're not publicly putting it up, what if there's somebody out there who needed to see and hear what you had, and they don't get the chance to because you didn't upload it?
I know that, but I forget about it sometimes. And it is good to have someone, or to have some ways to remind yourself about it. This was also one of the main reasons why I've put up a video where I'm experiencing a almost 3 day long mental breakdown. And this video is not about me suffering and showing all the people, or just thinking like, oh, that's something cool, people would like to watch me breaking down. But it's actually about how I recover from it and discover topics and issues that were underneath the surface, even underneath the surface of this breakdown happening. All experiencing that in the aftermath, alone in India, with a blocked credit card. If you'd like to watch it, I'll link it up somewhere. What I'm trying to say is just, if you believe that you have something to say and that you have words of encouragement for people, or thoughts you would like to share that might help someone else, you should definitely do it, no matter what. No matter what. Just do it.
The thing that's more important than like people seeing the value that you're putting out into the world is that you keep on creating the value. You know what I mean? So if you feel like taking a month or an indefinite period of time, just taking time and being like, I'm going to not upload until I can figure out how to get out of my head about this comparison thing and about why is nobody watching this and about YouTube sucks and why is it not showing my stuff to people, like all the stuff that we all think.
The next point we're touching is a question I had about making an impact, and Cody and I wouldn't say we share the same opinion, but it kind of makes sense what he's saying.
The most impact is such an arbitrary question where it's like, what does that even matter actually? Like if I just impacted one person, isn't that enough? The answer is it is infinitely enough and infinitely not enough. You know what I mean? Like when you impact one person, that is like amazing. That's incredible. That's everything. You accomplish, like your whole life's goal is accomplished. And also at the same exact time, it is nothing. Like you need to impact 1 million more people before like your life is over. Both of those things are just like constantly playing in my mind, you know? I think I'm making the most impact possible by focusing my time and energy on something. Like for me, when I start thinking too much about like, well, what if this isn't the right place? Like, how do I make the most impact? How do I focus my time and energy on the right thing to make the most impact? That just paralyzes me. And then I stop taking action. It's just the fact that we're like focused, action-oriented individuals. That's the way to make the most impact.
The thing about the whole consulting, all I can say is just
that actually makes a lot of sense. Do I need to do daily now?
And here is why I would never consider doing this again, why I would never even think about doing this again. Because it's out of question. I mean, if you're in the same situation I was in, if you're having a lot of questions no one has to answer, if you don't have anyone to turn to ask those questions, if the internet cannot answer these questions, then you should reach out to someone. And if it's for the cost of even whatever, I mean, it has to be reasonable, but if you can afford it, you should also do it, especially when it's someone you can talk to that you respect. I mean, how great is it? You can ask a person you respect and you trust about all those things that you really want to ask, that you really need and want to know. For me, for instance, it wasn't really like I had money on the side, but that was just an investment for me, an investment in myself. That's kind of like I think about it. And I'm also supporting a creator I really believe in and I really look up to. So I think it's all cool. This was actually a birthday present to myself. So I would do it anytime again. If you liked that video, please let me know. If you could get any value out of it, that's awesome. I would love to hear from you. Or maybe if you have another question, you can ask me, but I'm not sure if I can answer. Probably you should ask Cody. I don't know. Do whatever you think is right. And do not subscribe yet. Do not subscribe. Check out some of the other videos and check if this really is something that you might be into, if you really like what I'm doing. And if you like that, then hit and smash and bash subscribe. Someone returned home.